want to make sure the commentators get here. Okay, both of the commentators are here, so no need to hold. This kingdom is probably going to be a lot faster. There is no village, and you're playing big money. Gear is a very good card in big money. How does collection fit into all this? Collection is more of an engine card. But like you could put some collections in your deck and buy mills and forums and be fine. That might just outscore provinces. 5-2 is interesting. I'm not convinced 5-2 is better than the 4-3. I think collections are worth it over provinces, even in this kingdom. That's my hunch. I think I would like to get to an expand some estates into collections, buy some forums and maybe some mills and score points that way. How do I get up to 7 for an expand? Do I buy a merchant ship? Do I buy a legionary? Do I just buy a draw card like catacombs? I could buy a collection directly. That's not very good at this stage of the game. Legionary only gets me to 7 immediately if I happen to hit exactly Legionary and 4 coppers. Buy a similar token, merchant ship's only going to get me there if I hit merchant ship followed by 5 coppers. I'm contemplating maybe turn 1 forum, turn 3 gear, set aside 2 cards, and then hope to use your forum. You have a 7-card hand, and if you can get the estates out of your hand, maybe just draw all 7 of your coppers, something like that. I don't hate the idea of just like opening with a merchant ship or something. But it is terminal, and I think I'd rather play with an expand and a gear as my terminal action cards than a merchant ship down the road. That's the big downside to it. I could just open gear nothing immediately. That's probably not hitting 7 very effectively though. I don't think I want to free duck it. Not if it doesn't come with a copper trash. Duck it, trash copper could be a bit better. Gear Forum Mill are now the cards I'm thinking. Sorry, Gear Forum and Flex are now the cards I'm thinking about. I want to take the Forum. I'm planning to buy a gear turn 3. Forum, either turn 3 or turn 4 means I'm likely to see that gear. Turn 5, and maybe that gets me to an expand on turn 6, is the hope. Collection is a card I eventually want, but in the opening it's just like a fancy silver. I don't think that's doing enough to get me up to 7. I would like an expand and a gear in my deck and some forums, and then I would like to use the forums to play the expand as consistently as possible and smash those estates into collections. And that's where I hope this deck is headed. Yuri is the type to not play all of his coppers until he absolutely needs to. Put a few coppers and play to misdirect you. I think he might actually have the 2-5 just because, I don't know, to me 3-4 seems much clearer. Gear mill seems very straightforward as an opening. No, even so, if he had the 2-5, I think passing on 2 is clear. I don't think you want to free duck it. So maybe he's just thinking. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's contemplating double gear. He had the 4-3. I could see double gear maybe over gear mill. It's a possibility. Or gear duck it even. Yeah, I think gear mill is the most reasonable answer. Hit 5. Pretty sure I just want a gear in my deck though, right? Didn't manage to find it, unfortunately. Do I buy a silver here? So, assuming, not guaranteed, but more likely than not, that I have my gear in hand next turn. I think next turn I just play the gear and set aside forum and a copper. Then, going into the following turn, I'll have 2 cards set aside. I'll have 5 cards in hand. I'm sure I'm going to do at least one duck. I'm going to think about this next turn. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a big upside of the mill as well. So my question is essentially, if I just buy duck it here, because I'd rather not add silvers if I don't need to. I'm not super jazzed on having silvers in my deck. Am I likely to hit 7 next turn? I will only have 9 cards in my deck. I'll see 5 immediately. I will play a forum. I'm actually less likely than not to hit 7, aren't I? Like the success case is basically if an estate's on bottom, right? I'm pretty sure if I buy ducat here, I see all but one card on my deck next turn. If an estate's on bottom, I hit 7 because hopefully all my coppers and ducats. And if a copper or a ducat is on bottom, I hit 6. And I don't want to hit 6, I want to hit 7. And so I would only have a 1/3 shot at hitting 7 if I don't buy silver here. I could also buy a gear if I think gear is better than silver. But I think I run into terminal collision pretty quickly if I take 2 gears and an expand. So I think I'm going to buy a silver. Final answer. Yeah, so basically, had I just turned a copper into a ducat, effectively just like doing nothing for the time being, I would have had 4 cards down there. I would have played the forum. I would have seen all but one card. If I drew all 3 estates, I'd be able to discard at maximum 2 estates. I would hit 6 money. If I drew 2 estates and all 7 coppers, I would hit 7. I think that was just not likely enough to be worth it. Now, as long as I find my silver, I hit 7. Could you please? Yeah, there we go. I think that was worth it. This is actually not the end of the world. Obviously, I'd rather trash the estates, but I can just kill this bucket. That's okay. I'm gonna guess I'm slightly behind. I think I like Yuri's mill gear into expand sooner, a little better than what I did. I'm player 1, but I'm just slightly slower to playing expand, and that's because Yuri beat me to the punch. I didn't have the opportunity to do that. Oh, this is bad. All right, I went from slightly behind, like half a turn, to find now I'm like full turn behind unless Yuri does. Both my gear and my forum best. I think the most important thing for me to accomplish this turn was playing the gear and getting a big set aside. If I bottom like the forum, that wouldn't be so bad. But missing the gear is pretty bad. I'm just gonna buy duck past the turn. Yeah, I think we're doing fundamentally the same thing. Expand, a gear, bunch of collections. And I think Yuri's just going to be doing that thing slightly quicker than I am. And so far, at least, I think we just chalk that up to better draws. The 4/3 plus the bottom deck there. Both a little bit unfortunate. And so I could set aside 2, just buy another ducat. Set aside 1 to get another collection. We're going to take a ducat for the time being. This is not a bad starting hand. Yeah. This is going poorly. Yuri has now trashed all 3 of his estates. I have trashed a total of 0 estates. I think that pretty well summarizes the extent to which I'm behind. Yeah, I think this kingdom is kind of just going to be a function of how consistently can you play that card. Trashing an estate and gaining a collection is about the best thing you can accomplish early on here, and Yuri's just going to do that a little bit faster than I am. I'll play it out. Hopefully he does. Unfortunately, the longer the game goes on, if he doesn't dud soon, like I think you're mostly just gaining collection, buying forum, gaining collection, buying forum. And the more forums you have in your deck, the lower the chance of you dudding is. And at some point, he's just going to have a lead, and I'm not really going to have a way to catch up, given that there's not really much of a top end to this kingdom. At the very least, it won't take too long to play out. I have 3 collections now, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I just trashed my second estate into a collection, plus I turned a ducat into a collection earlier. I'm gonna buy one more forum. I'm concerned that you're. Yeah, this is bad. I had 4 cards, none of which were forum on top of my deck. And so I was contemplating I could take one collection immediately to like buy in the collection to try to stay up on the split. But I think even if I did that, if Yuri hits double collection here, then he wins the split regardless. The case for taking the forum was trying to avoid this exact situation, which is I had 4 stop cards on top of my deck. I was really hoping to maximize the chance I find a forum on top. I can use the forum to draw around to the expand. Still no dice. I think Yuri should buy that ultimate collection. No, it just goes for the gears. I don't think it's gonna make a difference. But I buy this collection. Yuri buys the last collection. I still lose the split. And then my expand can't gain anything useful. If I buy a forum here, I score 2 more points. And if Yuri only takes one collection, well then I can at least gain the last one off of expand. And I'd rather be gaining the collections with expand and buying the action so that I'm scoring points as I go. I think I'm gonna do this. The risk I run here is if Yuri just takes 2 collections, I'm really, really screwed. I did find the double gear buy surprising. Uh, okay, maybe it's just he's gonna have enough points for it not to matter. I guess I gotta pitch these, right? I feel like on one of my selections, there's the other two. I didn't like doing this because I was just once again I top decked a bunch of terrible cards. Um, and I can't even buy any more forums to help mitigate that risk. Uh, I don't think I could have justified playing one collection this turn. I had to draw those last two. I just gotta hope that I find a forum on top. Now buy some mills. Yeah, with a good draw, I think Yuri just wins here on collections and ducats. But like, what can you do about that? I couldn't even afford to take the last collection. Otherwise, you would, I think, pretty trivially win on ducats. Fine, fine, I'll resign.